Well, good evening, everybody out there across internet land. Hi, and how are you doing? My name is Brian Trippett. I am the Front Porch Conservative, and welcome to Chattin on the Porch, the Thanksgiving week edition, the Turkey Taco Tuesday edition of this thing that we do. Glad to have you guys here tonight. Been a little under the weather, but I'm getting there, gang. I'm getting there. We'll explain all that here momentarily. Glad to have all you guys here tonight. Know that everybody's going to be settling in. Appreciate you guys stopping by. Genuinely, I do. It's going to be a light but serious sort of an evening. I'll explain all that momentarily as well. Anyway, you have found your way to Chattin on the Porch, that fun little live stream we do where we take a stroll through the woods known as the news. We give our views, we point out things, and we say, one thing does not look like another, nor does it belong in this forest of information. So we'll try to sort it all out and see what makes sense and laugh at it all if we can possibly do so. My name is Brian Trippett. I am the Front Porch Conservative, and I am sometimes known as the fine fella in the fedora. Occasionally I'm known as the beau in the chapeau. Sometimes I'm called the common man with common sense. But in this moment, as always, I am known as your host. We are on Rumble, we are on Twitter, and we are on that quaint little alternative social media platform known as YouTube. So if you would not mind doing so, please do a favor. Help a friend out. Give a thumbs up. Leave a comment in chat. But most important of all, please, above all else, please subscribe to my channel on YouTube and on Rumble. I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. We are a going little concern. We're trying to become a going big concern. We can only do that with your help. Again, this is Chattin on the Porch. My name is Brian Trippett. I am the Front Porch Conservative. We are on Rumble. We are on Twitter. We are on YouTube. And we are here to try and make it through this crazy thing that we call life. Doing the best we can and making it all happen. Oh, so good to see all you guys. How are you guys doing tonight? Yeah, it's crazy. It is crazy. Yep. We got thumbs up from all over the place. Everybody's starting to settle into the room. Genuinely appreciate you guys being here tonight, especially given that I guess if people aren't already traveling, I guess tomorrow is when it starts in earnest. Airline flights, drives across the country, dog sleds, however y'all get to wherever it is you're going for your spend time with your holidays. So, tomorrow's the day. Everybody's just going to like head for the gas stations and, load up, everything else. And we'll make this thing happen. So let's say hello to some folks. We'll start over on the Rumble side with the Wingnuts. TBA says, are you feeling better, Brian? Yes, I am. And I kind of need to explain what happened yesterday. As you all know, I've been fighting this crazy head cold of mine. I'm on antibiotics now, which I'll be done with it probably in another beginning of next week. And I don't know what happened yesterday. The only way that I know how to describe it is all of a sudden my energy level just like bottomed out. I mean, it kept getting worse through the day, and I had my my advertisement for social media typed up to go, post it, and I just kept looking at the computer screen like, I can't do it. I just cannot do it. And finally I just said, guys, I love you, but I can't go. I don't know what's wrong with me. And I mean, took the night off, went to bed early, got a good night's sleep. Now I'm feeling better. So, I mean, the energy level's kind of, but it was just, I've been going through a lot of that lately. I don't know if it's just me getting old or, I need to start working out and taking better care of myself or eat right, lose weight, all that happy stuff. But it's a little bit disconcerting. I will not lie. But that's what happened yesterday. But I am feeling better. And WWG1, yes, thank you. I do feel better tonight. Thank you guys so much for all that you do over there as the original Wingnuts. So glad to have you guys here. And WWG1 says 5 pounds of turkey will solve all of your problems. I would argue 5 pounds of turkey, the stuffing, and the sweet potatoes. That will solve, and deviled eggs. which, y'all, I have lost my mind. Okay. Went out and bought all my eggs the other day. And I looked at that and I went, if I boil up and use all those eggs, I am a lunatic. But I will make the best deviled eggs you will ever eat. Of this, I promise. So let's see who all's over on the YouTube side. Good evening, Miss Gypsy, you gorgeous thing, you. Mwah. How you doing tonight, dear? The crazy Canadian Adam is in the house. How are you doing, sir? Fist bump from down south. Let's see. Porch Hounds Unite, absolutely. Mr. Lowry, fist bump to you, sir. Good evening in the great state of Ohio. Glad to have you here. Everybody else is going to start settling in the room, so TBA's like, crap, I almost forgot to make the deviled eggs. Oh, no. Let me explain to you me and deviled eggs, okay? Some years ago, I acquired the duty in the family of making the deviled eggs. And I don't do anything fancy as far as the mix. I'll tell you what to do. It's the egg yolks, mayonnaise, sweet relish, mustard, and a little bit of pickle juice. That's it. But I will absolutely go mad scientist on that mix until I think I've got it just right. Then and only then will I put it in the eggs. And it is to the point. It is to the point that I have family members, they won't eat anybody else's deviled eggs. I'm not kidding about this. I am not trying to sit here and be braggadocious. It's just true. My youngest nephew, when I would make them and take them to my sister's house, the second he would hit the door, he'd be like, where are they? I'm like, where are what? The eggs. I said, well, they're on the back porch. He wouldn't even wait for the meal. He'd just go straight to the back porch. He'd scarf down about 5 or 6 of them just standing right there. I thought we were going to have to get the boy into some meetings or something. I thought he had like addiction problems. We actually started to hide them. One year we hid them. He found them where we hid them. That's how bad it got. Okay. It's just crazy. So yeah, I have the deviled egg duty in the family. WWG1 deviled egg challenge. I was like, well, okay, I don't care. You know, and there's nothing wrong with the way other people make them. I mean, TBA's talking about horseradish and hot sauce. Yeah, you can do it that way too. I mean, there's a million ways to do deviled egg mix. Okay. Mine comes from an old friend of mine. She's passed on now. And she's the one that taught me how to make deviled eggs. And that's, you know, she's like, this is the mix. This is how you do it. And we just, you know, over the years, I've played around with it. And, you know, finally I found a way to make them that, you know, made me happy. So I was like, okay. And my family members enjoy the taste. I have had family members of mine get mad at me for holding back a tray of deviled eggs. I'm like, excuse us? We've been waiting all year. I was like, look, do you know how many women outside the family that I'm going to piss off if I don't take them these deviled eggs? I'm serious about this. My former boss, my workout buddy, the lady that cuts my hair, and now there's another lady in the mix who I have promised these deviled eggs to. So hopefully they make a good impression with her. So TBA says, do you use mayo or Miracle Whip? When I see, that's the funny thing about it. I can do it either way. To me, mayo tastes better. You know, I think the mayo tastes better, but there's some people just absolutely swear by Miracle Whip, which fine. I mean, if somebody really wants me to do it that way, I got no problem. So, you know, we'll do it however. TBA, like, Lauren is going to be jealous. Well, Lauren's just going to have to. Lauren may go from, you know, the future ex Mrs. Front Porch to the future ex side piece. But anyway, no, I'm just kidding. Anyway, oh, hello, dear. Glad you sauntered into the room. Mwah. I use my grandma and my mom's recipe. Good evening, Tiny Tesla. Mwah. Good to see you, dear. Okay, so you use both. You use both Miracle Whip and mayo. Okay, that's cool. Very good. Very good. Oh, God. God. Robert. That's just, I thought you had standards. That's all I'm saying. God. No, I'm just messing with you, man. I love you. I love it. I'll tell you what, you ever down this neck of the woods, I'll make you a batch. I'll make you a batch. Oh, goodness. That is just too funny. That is just too funny. Oh, my word. All right. Enough of that. No. All right. Housekeeping announcements. Nina Infinity is still coming on the channel. Okay. We just ran into a scheduling conflict. She was going to be on here tonight. And she ran into a thing and she's like, I'm so sorry. Can we reschedule this? I was like, yeah, that's fine. So she will be here and I'll redo the thumbnail, but she'll be here the 10th of December. Tomorrow night, Tracy Barkley's coming back on the channel, my good buddy from Gen X Marks the Spot. And we're going to do kind of a very light, sort of a Thanksgiving-themed chatting on the porch. And hopefully you guys will enjoy it. We've got some things in mind that we want to do, each of us. And it's going to be very light. It's going to be very easy, and probably relatively time sensitive because, you guys have got stuff you got to do to get ready for your families, or you got cooking you got to do, or whatever. So, we're going to be sensitive to that. And then next week, we're kind of back on a normal schedule. I'm debating right now what I want to do as far as after Wednesday, because obviously Thursday, we're not going to be doing anything. And I mean, Friday, I might do something, but I don't know yet. The reason I say that, I've got a bunch of stuff going on inside family related. So Wednesday night just might be our last live stream for the week. Might do something on Sunday, but I will keep you guys abreast of what's going on. So don't worry, y'all. Z Highness is in the house. Hello, darling. Mwah. Love you, dear. Love you, darling. Yes, and I am feeling better. I appreciate you being here. Genuinely, I do. Thanks, Z Highness. But yeah, we'll be doing a live stream tomorrow night, kind of a Thanksgiving theme sort of a stream. And then probably going to do something over the weekend. Might be a Sunday morning brunch. We'll see. But yeah, we're going to be, I've got a lot of stuff going on. I know you guys have got stuff going on, so I get it. And we're going to try and be sensitive to everybody's time. So, like I say, tomorrow might be the last stream of the week until Monday of next week, but we'll see how it goes. We'll play it by ear. And I'm kind of leaning that way right now because, like I said, I know I've got stuff going on all weekend with family and friends and everything else. I know you guys have got stuff going on with traveling and everything else. So we'll just kind of play it by ear. I'll give it some more thought and give you guys some updates tomorrow. Anyway, all right. Let's get down to business, as I know you guys didn't just come here to listen to me rattle on. We are wont to start this live stream, as we are always prone to do, with the Merry Memes section of the show. Now, for those of you maybe popping in for the first time on Twitter, on Rumble, on YouTube, and you're like, what the heck are the Merry Memes? Well, it's just that. It's very simple. We are going to do some memes that hopefully help you laugh. And they provide all of us with a chuckle, and we want to make sure you guys have an opportunity to laugh as well. Now, I've got to thank Gypsy for this one, and this might be one of those memes that I bookmark because, frankly, people always been trying to figure out what the heck is the point of a meme. Is it to send a message? Is it to do whatever? Well, I think Gypsy found her way to something that truly is almost Buddha-like wisdom on what the whole point of a meme is. Okay. And good evening to you, Miss Jessica. Mwah. Hello, the sexiest turkey west of the Mississippi River. Here she is, folks. Anyway, with that, what is the purpose of a meme? Well, thanks to Gypsy, we now know the reason. And, well, Brian, if you'd have had the good sense to do what you thought you were doing beforehand. Okay, here we go. The purpose of a meme, you ask? Well, it's real simple. It's to disturb the humorless and to humor the disturbed. And I don't know about you guys, but frankly, that meme truly, 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 I think says it all. This might be one of the most profound memes that I have ever seen to explain why it is memes are so very, very important. So, Miss Gypsy, I thank you for that one. I do. Well, good evening, Miss Lana. Mwah. Hello, darling. Happy Thanksgiving Happy Thanksgiving Eve to you, my dear. So, there you go. All right, let me save this bad boy because it's going to get bookmarked. Faux show. Faux show. Yes. All right. You know, there have been all kinds of defenses that have been given as it relates to certain crimes that you read about in the newspapers. And when it comes to paying taxes, there are all kinds of dodges that have been come up with. Oh, I forgot to mail it in. Oh, I can't believe I left the check out of the envelope. Oh my gosh. And all of this has, of course, led to people being, arrested for tax evasion. However, I think I've come across recently one of the best defenses against tax evasion that I've ever heard. Now, I don't know if this is going to stand up in a court of law very much, but I do have to say, this has got to be one of the most honest statements I've ever seen from a lawyer in a courtroom. As far as, what the whole point of tax evasion really is. Is it really evasion, or is it that, somebody just got outplayed? I'm sorry. I got to agree with the lawyer here. I think he's absolutely right. I don't think it's evasion. I just think, the IRS just got outplayed. Can't say this lawyer is wrong at all. Cannot say it at all. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. All right, what else do we have here? Got some Star Wars related stuff for you guys. And oh man, bring up the subject of taxes, and whoo, chat just went crazy. Woo! Everybody just got excited. Oh my goodness. Woo, Lordy. Man, I know what subject to bring up to get you guys woken up. Woo! Have mercy. Well, now, the government didn't find his millions, but Geraldo Rivera got close. That's all I'm saying. Oh my goodness. Get out of here. Get out of here. Are you serious about this? Well, I'd believe it. I'd believe it. It's you. Of course they're buried right next to Capone. Oh my goodness. He was bootlegging. He was bootlegging for Alphonse. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. Well, we got some Star Wars themed sort of memes, and this one's been going around the internet in various forms. And I'm just going to put this up here and let it speak for itself. Mark Hamill, I am your father. No. People say all the time Donald Trump really knows how to trigger individuals, and he knows just what spot to hit. I guess with Mark Hamill, this is about as sensitive a spot as you can get. Just saying. Oh, good. Now, we have another one here that I think you ladies will appreciate. And obviously, that one we just looked at was from Empire Strikes Back. Well, this one is from Return of the Jedi. And ladies out there, I think you all will appreciate this, especially for the idea of female empowerment. But in case you can't read that, the scene is obvious. You remember, this is when Princess Leia choked Jabba the Hutt. If you can't read that writing below, it says, hardcore feminists were outraged with the portrayal of Princess Leia in Return of the Jedi. especially after she strangled one of the hardcore feminists. Well, look, Princess Leia was not going to stay in chains. She is a princess, daggone it. And she is not going to be, chained to something looking like that. Especially when Princess Leia looking like that in that suit. Whew. Oh, the stuff of my childhood. Oh, baby. Mercy. Have mercy. You like that one? Okay. Okay. Now, Jessica, if ever you get your hands on the Princess Leia Return of the Jedi slave, look, I'll go ahead and say it for everybody. We want pictures, okay? Don't be claiming that you wore it and then we don't see pictures. We want receipts. We love you, but if you ever get your hands on that outfit, girl, look, for your many fans, we want pictures. Oh, okay. All right. I knew I had faith in you, darling. I knew I had faith in you. Okay, on to other subjects in the way of the merry memes. Now, there has been a great concern with people out there. Yeah, exactly, Lana. Exactly. Jessica, either pics or it never happened. We're just saying. Now, there's a great concern out there all across America, but particularly rural America, because, the elections happen, and even though time is now going by, people are worried. Well, maybe I should phrase that differently. People in cities are worried. People in suburbs are worried. People are just scared to death, of what's going to happen at Thanksgiving. However, rural America might not be as worried as you think. Look, you might have some relatives showing up trying to start some stuff. Rural America, I think, is prepared for it. I'm just saying, if you get greeted on the front porch at somebody's house by a fella who's holding that armament, well, either depending on which side of the argument you're on, you're either going to feel real safe or you're going to turn around and go back to where you came from. Just saying. So there you go. All right, what else do we have here? Yes. Since traveling starts in earnest tomorrow, I thought that maybe we could go ahead and give you guys an updated weather report. And honestly, and believe it or not, I managed to get my hands on something that kind of covers all of America. So if you happen to be watching this and you're out on the West Coast and you're wondering, hey, what kind of weather am I going to run into, as I travel? I got something for you. If you're in the South, like let's say you're down in Texas and you're going up north, well, I got something that'll take care of you as well. If you're on the East Coast and maybe you're moving west, fine, cool, I get it. Or maybe just moving around inside your own state. This weather map is going to be able to take care of everybody from coast to coast. However, I think I should just go ahead and tell y'all now, a lot of you might want to prepare for rain because, I don't know, for some reason, there's going to be a lot of dampness over this Thanksgiving holiday as people are traveling about across the fruited plain, as Rush used to call it. It doesn't really matter if you go from north to south or east to west or west to east or south to north. It just looks like it's going to be a lot of precipitation. A lot of precipitation. So I guess, dress appropriately. Make sure you got your umbrellas with you. Appropriate rain gear. Do what you got to do. But I'm just saying, it looks like, Florida looks like it's going to get to avoid all that for some reason. I don't know why. But most of America, it's going to be a kind of a very rainy sort of a proposition. So there you go. This one comes from Lana, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Literature, if it's really good literature, really stands the test of time and also speaks to us where we are with memorable phrases that come from every great work. And we have a little something from Charles Dickens this evening that kind of reminds us of what's going on in the world. And it was F around times. It was the find out times. You know, I didn't realize that, Charles Dickens could be quite this, that it could be quite this crass. But you know what? He's not wrong, folks. He's just not wrong. No, well, no, you didn't go a little bit nuts with the memes, but you know what? I thank you for it. I mean, a lot of these are just great. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, honey, I really agree with that. It is F around times. WWG1, going back to that meme of Princess Leia, says she can be chained next to me looking like that. Just saying. Now, are you talking about Princess Leia in the movie, or are you talking about Jessica dressed as Princess Leia from the movie? I mean, I just want to get this straight. WWG1, just make sure that we accurately reflect your comment appropriately. Because I would never want to take you out of context. Never, heaven forbid, I ever do that. Oh, God. Oh, God. When asked... He's here all week, folks. Try the veal. Really. Oh, Adam, I love you. You are absolutely nuts. I love you. Amen to this, Robert. Amen to this. WWG1 over on Rumble says, yes, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil because everything I see is fake and gay. Okay. Dave's here. How you doing, brother? Happy Thanksgiving Eve. Hi, Porch friends. I'd love to hear our fearless leader address the Ben Shapiro, Candace Owens brouhaha. I'm on Candace's side. Ben put out a gag order on... Whoa! Really? Now, Dave, I'm not going to lie to you, brother. I have not heard about this till you just brought it up. But however, I will happily check into this because this might be a fun little topic for tomorrow. I mean, we are doing a Thanksgiving sort of a themed show, but you know what? I will happily take a look at that and see what's going on. So those two kids have gotten into it again, huh? Well, I thought they finally learned how to play nice in the sandbox the last time, and apparently not so much. Okay. I did not know that, but Dave, I will check it out. But yeah. If you've got anything, tag me on Twitter with it. We'll take a look at it tonight. I mean, like I said, I haven't really had a chance. I have not heard about it until you just brought this up. But yeah, if you've got anything on Twitter, shoot it at me. We'll take a look at it. All right, a couple more memes. We'll get started on our main topics tonight. Everybody likes to think they're cool. Everybody likes to think something they wear makes them cool. Everybody likes to think where they come from makes them cool. Okay. That said, however, you will never be as cool as a Mongolian shepherd with an AK-47 and a pet snow leopard. Look, that may be the epitome of badass. Okay. I mean, here's a guy, he's taking care of his sheep. Or maybe they say the sheep are taking care of him. Yeah, but he's not messing around, man. You're not gonna get near his sheep. He will pew pew you with an AK-47. Just saying. And he has his own pet snow leopard. I'm sorry, folks. That constitutes cool. That's not bad at all. All right, one last meme, and we'll get into our major subjects of the night. And again, this one comes from Lana, or M169, as y'all lovingly know her. This one's pretty good. So let me get this straight. If we get nuked, it'll be by missiles with technology given to China by Clinton, funded by Iran with money Obama gave them, with warheads developed with uranium sold to Russia by Hillary, but Trump is the traitor. Got it. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, all of that is absolutely correct. If we get nuked, that's how it's going to go down, which we're going to get into some of that topic here in just a little bit. But we got one thing ahead of it. But yeah, just kind of let that meme percolate in the back of your mind while we get ready to talk about this other subject. And with that, thank you for indulging me with the merry memes. And hello, Midmo. Boom. Hello, brother. How you doing? Well, if you ask Santa real nicely, and if you've been a good boy, then there is the possibility, Robert. I'm just saying. Anyway. All right. Thank you guys for indulging me on the memes. So let's get into a couple of our main topics of the night. And I want to start with something that happened in the past 24 hours. And it's Trump and relations between the U.S., Mexico, and Canada. Now, a lot of people speculated that if Trump did win the election, which he did, that even though he would not take office until January 20th, that he would still be very influential. Well, he's lived up to that. He's lived up to that theory, and I'll get to it in a minute. Yeah, the Michigan cold is I don't know if you call it a Michigan cold or a West Virginia cold or what you call it, but it is getting better. It is getting better. It's better than it's been in a while, but we're getting there slowly but surely. This thing I have been taking decongestants now for days. I've been trying everything just to get this thing to dry out, but I think I'm on my way to getting there. It'll happen. Anyway, did you guys see these memes, not memes, but these truths that Donald Trump put out? I've had many talks with China about the massive amount of drugs, and in particular fentanyl, being sent to the U.S., but to no avail. Representatives of China told me that they would institute their maximum penalty, that of death, for any drug dealers caught doing this, but unfortunately they never followed through, and drugs are pouring into our country mostly through Mexico at levels never seen before. Until such time as they stop, we will be charging China an additional 10% tariff above any additional tariffs on all of their many products coming into the United States of America. Thank you for your attention. But the one post that he put out, and this one got everybody's attention fast, and it's the second one. As everyone is aware, thousands of people are pouring through Mexico and Canada, bringing crime and drugs at levels never seen before. Right now, a caravan coming from Mexico, composed of thousands of people, seem to be unstoppable in its quest to come to our currently open border. On January 20th, as one of my first executive orders, I will sign all necessary documents to charge Mexico and Canada a 25% tariff on all products coming into the U.S. and its ridiculous open borders. This tariff will remain in effect until such time as drugs, in particular fentanyl, and all illegal aliens stop this invasion of our country. Both Mexico and Canada have the absolute right and power to easily solve this long-simmering problem, and we hereby demand that they use this power until such time as they do, and it's time for them to pay a very big price. Well, it didn't take Trump long, and like I said, you'll notice the date. November 25th is when he put these two posts out on Truth Social. The man's not even president yet, and he's already telling Mexico and Canada, hey guys, clean up your act. If you don't, there's hell to pay. Now, I want to get into this subject because this has been like going around now for, and not just recently, but years. Tariffs. And should we be using them? Should we not be using them? This is an economic tool from the past. This is going to cause trade wars. This is going to cause higher prices for Americans, yada, yada, yada. Well, we had 4 years of Donald Trump, and this sounds very similar to stuff that Donald Trump did in the 4 years he was president. Okay. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I have a very hard time thinking of an example where we went into some kind of a trade war with a country that we slapped tariffs on and it hurt us economically. As a matter of fact, I recall those years quite fondly as all of us being able to afford pretty much whatever we wanted to buy. Jobs were plentiful, wages were going up, and we didn't have a problem as far as, things we wanted to buy. Didn't matter if it came from the US or from some other country. And this goes to the point about tariffs. And it's not necessarily exclusive to tariffs, but it's true. Tariffs have all kinds of uses, and one of them in this case is a negotiating point. Trump wants to get something done, doesn't want to get into a military situation, quite obviously. And that's not to say we might not wind up using military means to solve some of our problems on the southern border. That option might still be there. But why do you use a tariff? And I think, Robert, you point this out quite brilliantly. They're meant to cause financial pain. It's why they work. They are a leverage point, and Trump is using them for leverage. Okay? Well, needless to say, it didn't take long for the leaders of Canada and Mexico to respond to this. And we have Adam's favorite politician, the Prime Minister of Canada, Justin Trudeau, who made a statement to the press after having talked with Trump after Trump put out those comments. Okay? So as always, folks, do me a favor, give me a sound check. Let me know if this is working right, and we'll check out what the Right Honorable Justin Trudeau has to say.
Bonjour tout le monde. I had a good call with Donald Trump last night again. We obviously talked about laying out the facts, talking about how the intense and effective connections between our two countries flow back and forth. We talked about some of the challenges that we can work on together.
Okay, I got to stop this for one second. This guy is such a pansy. Adam, take this in the spirit which I intended. And Sean from Third Railify, if you're out there listening to this, brother, I love you. But man, I pray you guys bounce him in the next election. By the way, when is your next election, Adam? Is it next spring? I pray you guys bounce him. Get rid of him. He is just... I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that the opposition may be that much better, but oh my God, this guy's a... Well, now that is alleged. That is allegedly, allegedly he does this. We don't know for sure. Just saying. Okay, so your next election is in the spring. Okay. Well, brother, my prayers to you and your fellow Canadians that you get rid of this. Yeah, Pierre Poilievre. I've heard of this guy. We'll see how much better he is, but my prayers to you. You guys have got to get rid of Justin Trudeau. He's a piece of crap. Anyway, he's already taken 20 seconds to say absolutely nothing, but let's listen to the rest of his nothing.
It was a good call. This is something that we can do. Laying out the facts, moving forward in constructive ways. This is a relationship that we know takes a certain amount of working on, and that's what we'll do. One of the really important things is that we be all pulling together on this. The Team Canada approach is what works. That's where, putting aside partisanship, that's where I reached out immediately to Doug Ford to agree with him that we would have a First Ministers meeting this week to talk about the United States, talked with François Legault and some other premiers as well. There's work to do, but we know how to do it.
Okay. So I think Canada is on its way to fixing its little red wagon. And WWG1 says, what a limp-wristed pussy hat butt plug. Don't hold back, WWG1. What are you really trying to say about Justin Trudeau? I don't quite follow you. WWG1 says, so he got on the horn. By horn, I don't mean the phone. Oh, okay, that's quite enough. Thank you very much. That's just, oh boy. Yeah. Yeah, Justin Trudeau is just a piece of work. He really is. Just really a piece of work. So Adam, Sean, all you my Canadian brethren up there, I'm praying for y'all that you bounce him. Because Fidel's kid has got to go. And if you know, you know. Just saying. So that's Canada. Well, what's the position of the Mexicans? Well, all those cartels that have been heading north, all those images you see of people making one last run for the border before January 20th. Well, according to Gunther Eagleman, who is a social media influencer, he hangs out with Tim Pool and his bunch. Apparently, the Mexican president is stopping migrant caravans from reaching the border just 12 hours after Trump threatens a 25% tariff. And my response to that is, hip, hip, hooray. I am down with this idea. So, yeah. And I want to talk about something else for just a minute. And I know you guys are aware of this, but it does bear repeating. There are lots of different ways to solve a problem without necessarily doing it at the point of a gun. And I'm not saying the problem's totally solved, okay? But everybody just got put on notice. We are going to solve this, and you are going to do something about it. The royal we being the United States, and you being Canada and Mexico. How Trump is already starting to solve this goes to the difference between populist conservatives and neocons. Okay. Good evening, sir. Glad to see you, and happy Thanksgiving Eve, my friend. Fist bump to you. The great Christian Watson, ladies and gentlemen. Give him a sub if you're not subscribed to his channel. Genuinely good dude. Neocons, especially in matters of foreign policy, want to solve everything at the point of a gun. Everything's got to be, by military means. We got to solve this by military. Whatever issue you're talking about somewhere in the world. I swear, my running comment is Lindsey Graham would have us dropping bombs and sending in troops if someone just put our nose out of joint. Forget doing anything else. If they just put America's nose out of joint, he wants to go bomb the place. He's as bad as John Bolton, okay? Look, there is a time and place under heaven to do all things, and it is always my hope that leaders will know when and where they should do certain things, particularly in matters military, okay? Could Donald Trump have said, if you guys don't get this stuff on the border taken care of, we're going to launch troops and we're going to drop missiles and you guys are going to cut this crap out until you crack down on all these people, right? Yeah, he could have done that. He didn't need to. What did he do? He sent out a message. Said, okay, you guys are going to shut down the border, and either you're going to shut down the border or we're going to slap a 25% tariff on you. It's that simple. And yeah, I did see that. She's starting this, from Mexico. So I hope y'all have your mock. There you go. Yeah. Yep. She's already making language about this, and I'm not saying that she won't take a bite to America, but if nations are like dogs, America is like an old Great Dane, and in this case, economically speaking, Mexico is like a Chihuahua. Does a Chihuahua really want to get into a fight with a Great Dane? I mean, again, I'm not saying to ignore what her statement. Yeah, she's talking about doing it. I'm just saying, seems to me we could hurt them worse economically than they could hurt us. So we'll see. But yeah, Trump goes into this situation like, we don't need to, we're not. We're going to get them to cooperate with us, and here's how we're going to do it. Either you cooperate with us on helping us close up this border, or we're going to slap a 25% tariff on you. And needless to say, what did Justin Trudeau do? First thing, made a phone call to Trump. So we'll see how all this plays out. But I'm just saying, to me, and it's not even so much about the tariffs, this story, okay? It's not even so much about the story about the tariffs. To me, that's the most instructive. To me, it's the thing of knowing when and how you can get something done. Most Washington bureaucrats, particularly neoconservatives, we've got to go to war. These people are violating our border. Not that neocons need much of a reason to go to war anyway, but you know what I'm talking about. But this would just be one more provocation to start, loading up the bayonets and get the bombs ready and feed the howitzers and drop artillery and do whatever else. Trump's like, no. We don't need to do that. We don't need to do that. Mexico, Canada, either you help us out here or we're going to make you hurt for it. And how we're going to do that? Slap a 25% tariff on you. Now, will Trump go through with it? Probably. How long will it last? Have no idea. How quickly will the Canadians and the Mexicans help us clean up the southern border? Depends on how much of a bite those tariffs take out of them. So we'll keep an eye on this one. We'll see what happens. But yeah, Donald Trump's not even back in office yet, and he's already making waves. And I may say good ones too. Okay. Let us shift gears to our next topic. But before we do, let's do a real quick commercial. I've been away for a little while. Well, actually, the last stream I did was Saturday. So, geez, holy cow. So, I want to thank all you guys for being here. And I genuinely do mean that. I love you guys very much so. And for those of you who aren't familiar with me, or maybe you've never stopped by this live stream before, my name is Brian Tripp, I'm the Front Porch Conservative. I've got a channel on Rumble and I got a channel on YouTube. First of all, how you doing out there, internet land? And second of all, thank you for being here tonight, especially during the week of Thanksgiving. I know a lot of you are going to be traveling. Maybe you're traveling right now. You're surfing around the internet trying to listen to something to help you drive or be on the airplane or whatever. We're glad you're here tonight. We do this thing called Chattin on the Porch. Usually we do this Monday through Thursday night, and we hang out together. We talk about the news, and everybody gives their opinions about it, and we crack jokes, and we make fun of each other and make fun of politicians because God knows they deserve it. Be they at the local level, as Jessica, is practically the Robinette Hood of Mary, Colorado, where she's out there just making the lives of local politicians miserable, which they deserve, by the way. Or folks like us, where we talk about stuff at the national level and everywhere in between. So if this is your cup of tea or your swig of brandy or your jigger of scotch, then why don't you go ahead and subscribe to my channel on YouTube and Rumble. And while you're at it, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Leave a comment in chat, share the link around, do all those things that you guys do to make channels grow. And thank you so much for the almost now 2 years I've been doing this. This channel has grown in ways I never thought possible, and it's all because of you guys. So I cannot thank everybody enough, be it the OG members of Fedora Nation or folks who've come alongside. Thank you so very much. It's genuinely appreciated. Okay. Let us turn our attentions international. And this is one of those subjects that everybody sort of had a suspicion in the back of their mind was possible. But I really wonder, with the exception of maybe a handful of people, how many of us thought that it would ever get this far. And I'm not trying to be self-serving when I say that. And I mean, because seriously, with what's going on in Ukraine right now, and particularly Western Europe, did I think, like a lot of people, that something crazy could happen between the election and Inauguration Day? Yeah. Did I ever think Biden and Western Europe would push it this far? I'm not going to lie to you. I guess I just underestimated them, which is shame on me. I should have known better. But where we are now, and I'm not trying to depress anybody's holidays that they're about to go into, we're at a very scary point. And it wouldn't take much at all for this thing to get all kinds of crazy. To give everybody kind of an update about where we are, I've got an article here from a French newspaper called Le Monde, or Le Monde, depending on how you pronounce it. Fortunately, they have an English translation, and I was able to get my hands on it. So this is from yesterday, and I want to kind of give everybody an update about where things stand right now. From an article written by Chloe Horman, Elise Vincent, and Philippe Ricard, we have the following headline: Discussions over sending European troops to Ukraine reignited. With the prospect of American disengagement from Kiev following Donald Trump's return to the White House, Paris and London are not ruling out a military coalition in Ukraine. Article begins with, as the conflict in Ukraine enters a new phase of escalation, discussions over sending Western troops and private defense companies to Ukraine have been revived. Le Monde has learned from corroborating sources. There are sensitive discussions, most of them are classified, relaunched in light of a potential American withdrawal of support from Kiev once Donald Trump takes office on January 20, 2025. The debate about sending troops to Ukraine, which French President Emmanuel Macron initiated at a meeting between Kiev's allies in Paris in February, was strongly opposed by some European countries led by Germany. However, it was relaunched in recent weeks thanks to the visit to France of the UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer for the November 11th commemorations. Quote, discussions are underway between the UK and France on defense cooperation, particularly with a view of leading to a hard core of allies in Europe focused on Ukraine and wider European security, confided a British source to Le Monde. There are comments in line with those made up by the French Foreign Minister, Jean-Noël Barrot, on a visit to London on November 22nd. In an interview with the BBC on November 23rd, he called on Western allies to, quote, not set and express red lines in their support for Ukraine. When asked about the possibility of sending French troops into the field, he declared, we do not discard any option. The French Ministry of the Armed Forces and the Élysée Palace have not yet given the green light to the deployment of conventional troops or private contractors, but for several months now, such proposals have clearly been on the table. One of these concerns Defense Council International, the Ministry of the Armed Forces main operator for monitoring French arms export contracts and transferring military-related know-how. DCI is 55% owned by the French state. So we are at a point where the British and the French are ready to send troops in. TBA says, I cannot believe that Europeans are so anxious to get back into another world war. That's just crazy. It's nuts. I think this whole thing is a fake out by the deep state to use fear porn to get us, the whole world, back into yet another world war. That's possible. That is absolutely possible. I'm not going to lie, kids. I'm really not. If ever there's time to pray, it's right now. And again, I am not trying to depress you guys as we go into Thanksgiving. I'm just trying to be straight up honest with you. We are in some very, very scary waters. And it wouldn't take much to tip the whole damn boat over. Matter of fact, you've got the new chief of NATO. I've got an article here from the Associated Press. New NATO chief Rutte says alliance needs to go further in support of Ukraine. Article from the Associated Press. NATO's new Secretary General Mark Rutte on Tuesday said the alliance needs to go further to support Ukraine in its fight against a Russian invasion and accused Moscow of dangerously escalating the conflict by bringing in thousands of North Korean troops. Quote, in pursuing its illegal war in Ukraine, Russia makes use of northern North Korean weapons and troops, Iranian drones, and Chinese dual-use goods for its defense industry, Rutte said while on a visit to Greece. This is a dangerous expansion of the war and a challenge to global peace and security. Rutte, a former Dutch prime minister who took over as NATO chief last month, met Greek Prime Minister Kyriakos Mitsotakis in Athens and thanked him for Greek support for Ukraine that includes weapons and ammunition, as well as training for F-16 pilots and technicians. Our support for Ukraine has kept them in the fight, but we need to go further to change the trajectory of the conflict. Greece spends over 3% of its gross domestic product on defense, above the 2% committed minimum for NATO members, and is seeking a change in European Union budget rules to allow for greater military spending. It also wants to help create a common European air defense system. I'm going to say something, and it's probably what a lot of you guys might be thinking already. And it needs to happen. We need to withdraw from NATO. If ever there was a time for the U.S. to get out, it's right now. This is madness. Look, if Europe wants to sink themselves into a war, not that I want to see it happen, but you know my response? Have at it. Go for it. You guys got bloodlust that bad? You guys settle it, but don't drag us into it. And that's my problem with us still being in NATO. And frankly, to me, this is the proof. This is the proof of why it is we should have disbanded NATO in the early 1980s. You're absolutely right, Christian. We should have gotten out ourselves. Either we get out ourselves or we withdraw the U.S. from it. Because at the end of the Cold War, there was no reason for NATO to exist anymore. WWG1 over on Rumble says NATO is nothing without U.S. funding. Yeah, absolutely. They need our money. And honestly, notice how fast and how hard Europe and the Biden administration are pushing this. They know they have got to get this done before January. Now, it's not to say Trump can shut this thing down automatically on January 20, but he's going to do everything he can to wind this thing down and get us out of it, which, praise God, we never should have gotten into it in the first place. We never should have been egging this thing on the way we have. We never should have launched the Maidan coup in 2014 that put Zelensky into power in Ukraine. TBA says, smooth transition my ass. Exactly. I mean, if the Europeans want to get into a fight, fine. Don't drag us into it. And honestly, and yet to be seen. But I will say this. If Donald Trump wanted, I'm not saying he's going to, and I'm not saying he necessarily wants to, but if Donald Trump were looking for a reason, or maybe better this way, if Donald Trump were looking for an excuse to get the United States out of NATO, what's going on right now is it. Remember Article 5, ladies and gentlemen. An attack upon one NATO member is an attack upon all NATO members. That clause is the justification to get more trouble started than you can possibly imagine. TBA over on Rumble says, yeah, but Brian, you know if the Europeans start another war with Russia, our neocons will hop on that horse so fast. Oh, I know they will. I know they will. All the more reason to get the U.S. out of NATO. Enough of this. Enough of this. If the English and the French want to put their troops in the field, fine. You go ahead and do it. You leave ours out of it. You want to fire missiles on Russia? Fine. You fire your own missiles. You leave ours out of it. Yeah, exactly. I'm with you, sister. I mean, I am absolutely with you. This is being used as the provocation to suck us into a European war. Another one, by the way. We got sucked into 2 of them in the 20th century. Now we're about to get sucked into a 3rd one in this century. I mean, if it were me and I were Donald Trump, get this war settled as fast as possible. And after it's settled, get our troops out of NATO and formally withdraw. Oh, but Brian, don't you know that in the previous Congress they made it tougher for the president to do that? He can't do that on his own. You want to bet? It would wind up going to court, but matters of foreign policy are almost exclusively in the hands of the executive branch, not the Congress. So if ever there was a time to get us out of NATO, this is it. And as far as I'm concerned, this is the justification. Because these people are absolutely trying to, there's no other way of saying it. They are trying to get us into a war. They're going to get people killed. They've already gotten, God knows how many Ukrainians killed and Russians killed. Anybody else for that matter. How many more people have to die before this madness stops? WWG1 over on Rumble says, anything dealing with NATO is considered a treaty. The president can get us out of any treaty. Absolutely. And that is exactly what the NATO Charter is. It is a treaty between the member nations. And that falls under the exclusive province of the executive branch. The Senate may ratify it, but that's an executive issue after that. A couple more things to point out here. See what else we got. Germany, for their part, and you would think they'd want to avoid a war more than anybody else, has pledged to deliver 2 more IRIS-T Iris-T air system to Ukraine by the end of the year. Germany has supplied Ukraine with military howitzers, tanks, and Marder infantry fighting vehicles, while also launching a strike drone program. Now, this is an interesting theory. Interesting. No, I agree with you. It'd be difficult. It would be difficult, but yeah, there's ways of getting around it. That's a good point. But I like this idea. I know Trump did name an ambassador to NATO. I know he did that recently. But how he wants to handle it from there is a whole other question. So yeah, the French are involved, the English are involved, the Germans are involved. And you remember one of the pretexts of why World War I got started? The Archduke was shot. Archduke Ferdinand was shot. And all the countries of Europe, because of their treaties, their marriages, their alliances, were all tied together. Well, here's an example of what happens in the modern 21st century. Check this out. According to the Financial Times, South Korea's President Yoon Suk Yeol is considering sending arms to Ukraine in response to North Korea dispatching troops to Russia and receiving spy satellites. Great. Enmity of nation against enmity of nation. One nation takes an action, another nation hates that nation to begin with, and now everybody's corresponding and responding. This conflict in Ukraine cannot end fast enough. And my prayer is that nothing really, really bad happens between now and Trump's inauguration to escalate this thing even further. Because again, I'm not trying to depress anybody here. Just trying to be straight up with y'all. This scares me to death. I am not going to lie. We are this close to some really, really bad stuff. Stuff I don't even want to think about. But we got to talk about it. TBA says we got 54 days. Lord, we don't deserve it. Lord only knows. Lord, I know you know we don't deserve it. Man, keep us safe from these people who are supposedly our leaders. Truly frightening. A couple more little items here. This is from Mario Nawal, or Nafal, I should say. Pop this up here. NATO Military Committee convened at Supreme Headquarters Allied Powers Europe in Belgium. NATO Strategic Warfighting Command Center to bolster collective defense plans against threats like Russia and terrorism. General Christopher Cavelli, NATO's Supreme Allied Commander, highlighted growing unity in military action, while Admiral Rob Bauer warned conflict can arise any time. We must always be ready. Briefings detailed NATO's revamped strategy for collective defense and upgrades to SHAPE's 24/7 command systems to respond swiftly to any adversary. Yeah. Again, can I do a lot about it? No, not necessarily. Should we be sounding the warning bells where appropriate? Yes. But there is some good news. And you know what? I'll give the Biden administration credit on this one. And I'm serious. I am serious. Did you guys hear the good news about the ceasefire in Lebanon that's been negotiated between the United States, the Israelis, and yeah, Patty, we're just about to get to that, dear. Thank you for your kind words on wishing me speedy recovery. I genuinely appreciate it. Thank you for your post on YouTube. I genuinely appreciate that. Hello, dear. There, yeah, we got some good news, and this comes out of the Associated Press. This broke earlier today. Israel approves ceasefire with Hezbollah. Now, I've got a statement from Biden, and I want to play it for you guys. And you know what? We all have been tough on Joe Biden, deservedly so, because in a lot of cases, he's been starting this crap. But in about 20 minutes is when this ceasefire is supposed to take place. It's supposed to start, okay? And my response to that is glad to see this happen. Now, whether this was Biden, whether it's Trump, I don't care who it was. But I'm glad to see it happen. And with that, I've got a statement here from Joe Biden, and I'll let you guys hear it.
Good afternoon. Today, I have some good news to report from the Middle East. I just spoke with the Prime Minister of Israel and Lebanon. I'm pleased to announce that their governments have accepted the United States proposal to end the devastating conflict between Israel and Hezbollah. I want to thank President Macron of France for his partnership in reaching this moment. Under the deal reached today, effective at 4 a.m. tomorrow local time, the fighting across the Lebanese-Israeli border will end. Will end. This is designed to be a permanent cessation of hostilities. What is left of Hezbollah and other terrorist organizations will not be allowed, I emphasize, will not be allowed to threaten the security of Israel again. We're determined this conflict will not be just another cycle of violence. And so the United States, with the full support of France and our other allies, has pledged to work with Israel and Lebanon to ensure that this arrangement is fully implemented. Let me be clear. If Hezbollah or anyone else breaks the deal and poses a direct threat to Israel, then Israel retains the right to self-defense consistent with international law, just like any country when facing a terrorist group pledged to that country's destruction. At the same time, this deal supports Lebanon's sovereignty And so it heralds a new start for Lebanon, a country that I've seen most of over the years, a country with rich history and culture. If fully implemented, this deal can put Lebanon on a path toward a future that's worthy of its significant past.
There you go, folks. Now, he said 4 p.m. or 4 a.m. local time. I checked it before I came on here, and that would be literally here in about 20 minutes. So we'll see what happens. WWG1 says, are they going to celebrate this ceasefire with rockets? I give it 90-10 odds this will not happen. I know. I'm just saying we may have a ceasefire. Let's see if it holds, and I truly do hope it does. TBA over on Rumble says 20 minutes. My nickel is on the war will continue. Could be. Could be. I just, for everybody's sake, the Lebanese, the Israelis, I hope this sticks. WWG1 says, oh, there we go. Biden just gave Israel permission to start World War III. Now I understand. Oh, the language about if Lebanon breaks the ceasefire, Israel can defend itself. Yeah. Yeah. Point taken. Point taken. Yeah. True. Very true. Like I say, guys, we'll see what, as with all things, I'm coming to understand the power of the words. We'll see. Some people say that betrays nonchalance. No, I just think that demonstrates realism. TBA over on Rumble says these neo-Nazi bastards really want a world war, and they'll irritate any country by throwing some arms towards them. You're not wrong, sir. You are not wrong at all. Not in the slightest. Okay. We're going to move to the Nightcap section of the show. Before we do, let me get in one last commercial. If you've happened on this live stream while you're driving or flying or whatever it is you're doing, my name is Brian Tripp, and I'm the Front Porch Conservative, and this is Chattin on the Porch. This is something we do through the week, usually Monday through Thursday. We get together, we talk about the news, and everybody gets to give a response to it, hang out, laugh, and cry, or laugh and cry. And otherwise, we try and make it through this crazy thing together that we call life. This group is they are the smartest audience on the internet, and they are commonly known as Fedora Nation, with a few wingnuts thrown in for good measure. If this is something you'd like to be a part of, then why don't you go ahead and subscribe to my channel on Rumble and on YouTube. Also, leave a comment in chat, hit the thumbs up, do all those things that help a channel grow, because we're trying to grow this thing slowly but surely. So, would love to have your support. Would love to have you become part of Fedora Nation. We do interviews here. We do a lot of different things. Tomorrow night, my good buddy Tracy Barkley's coming on, and we're going to do sort of a Thanksgiving-themed session of Chatting on the Porch. So come be a part of it. We'd love to have you. Hey, Motard's in the house. How you doing, Motard? Fist bump for you. And always know they are doing worse than you can imagine. Oh, ain't that the truth, sister? Ain't that the truth? Very sad indeed. All right. A couple of 3 funnies for you as we get ready to wrap up the night. Well, this one's not necessarily funny, but this one's pretty cool. During the 2024 election, there was a young man out of Nevada who ran for the United States Senate. He's a former captain in the U.S. Army. His name was Sam Brown. He won the Republican nomination. He took on the senator out there, Jackie Rosen. Really tight race. Man, for a guy who had never run for office before, Sam Brown gave her everything that she could handle. If you don't know anything about Sam Brown, he is a combat wounded veteran of the Iraq War. And when I say wounded, the gentleman suffered horrible burns across his face and parts of his body. He didn't let that stop him. And he went on to become a married man, a father, and just I don't know a whole lot about his story, but it's pretty daggone cool. Well, Gypsy came across something, and I thought I'd share it with you guys because this I thought was pretty cool. I thought you guys might enjoy this. Apparently, former Captain Sam Brown went down to Mar-a-Lago recently, and when he did, he gave a very special gift to President-elect Trump. And I thought you guys might like to see this. He gave him as a gift part of the body armor that he was wearing when he survived the IED explosion in Afghanistan in 2008. And that's pretty cool, y'all. That is just pretty cool. I don't know about you guys, but I think that's just really, really neat. And, I hope that Sam Brown's future in American politics isn't over. I hope it's not just a one and done. He ran this time against Jackie Rose and never to run again. Man, he's got a good story. He learned some lessons, some tough ones, but I'd really like to see him, even if it's not in the U.S. Senate, somewhere out in Nevada, TBA over almost an outstanding young man. We need more like him. Damn right we do. That's just a genuinely good dude. He really is. And for his service to the country and everything else, hat tip my brother. But yeah, and I want to thank Gypsy for sharing this one. That's just cool. That's just, yeah. Just an amazing, amazing story and amazing sacrifice. So, Sam Brown, good on you, brother. We got some Kamala Harris news. Apparently, Kamala has been vacationing in Hawaii for the past couple of weeks, and she has resurfaced and put out a video. Now, why she did this, I don't know. And I don't know what she was doing down in Hawaii. You would think that she'd be relaxed, she'd be resting up, try to get back into the swing of things, get her head screwed on straight. Because, she ran, she ran a race for president. And I don't care who you are or how old you are, that's going to take some sap out of you. But the video that she put out is causing people to talk more than you might imagine. I'm going to play this, and I want to get y'all's reaction to this. If you have not seen this yet, I know what I think, but I want to get you guys' take on this. So with that, check this out.
I just have to remind you, don't you ever let anybody take your power from you. You have the same power that you did before November 5th. And you have the same purpose that you did. And you have the same ability to engage and inspire. So don't ever let anybody or any circumstance take your power from you.
Okay. Now, I'm not going to lie. I think she's drunk. I really do. Matter of fact, watch that first 10 seconds or so again with me real quick. Watch this. Watch her facial expressions and watch how she slurs.
I just have to remind you, don't you ever let anybody take your power from you. You have the same power that you did before November 5th. And you have the same purpose that you did.
I'm sorry. Look, I am not trying to be unkind here. I'm really not. That woman, assuming that this is not some kind of fake or doctored video, which I don't think it is. I really don't. She's loaded. She's struggling for words. Don't let them take your power. Oh God. And there are people talking about this woman for 4 years from now. I don't know, guys. I mean, I'm not going to lie. And again, I am not trying. She looks worse now than she did before the campaign ended. I mean, she looks like she's been on a bender for a while, and she does. She just looks awful. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, she's wearing a nice suit. I'm not saying it's not, but she looks, her hair, her eyes, she looks more tired now than when she came back from the vacation. Okay. All right. Let me take a look at this. I mean, seriously, how bad is this? I mean, you know, well, now, wait a minute, y'all. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a second. Hang on, guys. Hang on a second. There might be a bit more to this than we realize. Who was it here? Gypsy asked the question, how many takes did it take to get that? Well, Gypsy, Midmo just shared something, and y'all might want to take a look at this because apparently there is another version of this. Just saying.
Don't you ever let anybody take your power from you. You have the same power that you did before November 5th. And you have the same purpose that you did.
Guys, I don't know. Look, okay, I don't disagree that she's on vacation. I understand that. But still, she just I'm serious about this, and I'm not trying to be unkind. She looks awful. And I'm very sure she's drunk. TBA says she's drunk or she's snorting coke. Brother, you may be right. WWG1 over on Rumble says that night train can age you. Ripple and Mad Dog too. My God. Why would you go out and do a video like this just coming back off vacation? Look, she knows how bad she got her butt kicked. Okay? Go away quietly for a while. Take some time. Yeah, she went on a 2-week vacation to Hawaii. That's not what I mean. She needs some time away from politics. She really does. Go back to California and just chill out. But this is not a good look. Okay. This is the person that got asked to leave the bar and then storms back in to say, I am leaving. Yeah. Girl, you need some help. You just need some help. All right. One last thing, and we're going to bring this thing into the station. Got a throwback to a better era of television. What now? That's a thought. That is a thought. Maybe she did get hit by a coconut. Just saying. Got something here that's a throwback to a better era of television. And normally, by the way, I am not in the habit of doing anything Christmassy before Thanksgiving, but this one's just too cute, and I got to share it with you guys. I'm sure you guys are all aware of the great Karnak. I'm sure I'm ringing some people's bells when they hear me say that. The legendary great Karnak used to show up on Johnny Carson's show and give his amazing powers of perception and perceptibility. Well, Christmas ornaments, drywall, and Jeffrey Epstein. Karnak says, what are 3 things that don't hang themselves? You know, Karnak, I don't disagree with you, brother. I don't disagree with you on this one. Karnak absolutely had it right. Karnak had it right. All right, we're going to go ahead and bring this train into the station. And I want to thank you guys very much for hanging out with me for a little while tonight on the porch. I genuinely appreciate it. Thank you for all of your very kind words. I'm still trying to get over this, whatever the heck it is I got. We'll get there. We'll be back tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 o'clock Central. Tracy Barkley, my good buddy from Gen X Marks the Spot. What is your next show date, Brian? Tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Eastern. We're going to do something of a Thanksgiving-themed session of chatting. So if you're able to make it, we'd love to have you. If you can't because of traveling or cooking or whatever, totally understand that too. But we're going to do a very fun session tomorrow night, Thanksgiving-themed, and we will roll on from there. So with that, love you guys. Have a great night. Thank you so much for being here. I cannot thank you guys enough. Of all the things I'm thankful for, you guys are definitely one of them. And when I say my prayers at the table Thursday, I will be saying thank you for you. And with that, love you guys. Have a great night. We'll be back tomorrow night at 6. And remember the words of that great American philosopher, Tom T. Hall, when he said, it's faster horses, younger lovers, older whiskey, more money. Have a great night, y'all.